Hello! Last video received very well, so I figured I would make another one. Now I saw that Bearing made this video, and I just figured that he didn't really cover some things that I wanted to say personally, so I figured I'd make my own video. Thank you so much for about 25 views now, and it seemed like it received very well, because it has 2 likes, no dislikes. Thank you so much, so let's get into the video.
Hey guys, so today I thought I would discuss the really lighthearted topic of is not wanting to fuck a trans person transphobic? Also, is not wanting to date someone of a certain race racist? And to throw it in for good measure, the am I a dickhead for avoiding disabled people on dating apps?
The short answer to all 4 questions is no. But we're here for the long answer.
Spoiler, yeah, kinda.
Now, since I'm nice, I will hear you out on your yeah, no, kind of.
Now before I go any further, I am not saying that you have to have sex with any kind of person, okay? You do not have to have sex with a trans person, or a black person, or an Asian person, or a disabled person. Now that that's out of the way, allow me to explain. Essentially this whole thing came up because some lovely cis lesbians were tweeting on the internet.com about how they'll never have sex with a trans person.
Okay, but why is that a problem? Right before that you just said...
Now before I go any further, I am not saying that you have to have sex with any kind of person.
It's very contradictory.
Which firstly, cool? Like, nobody asked. Nobody was out there tweeting them being like, yo, FYI, you gotta fuck a trans person.
I don't have the time to do the digging, so I'm just going to believe you on this. And to that I say, yes, no one was asking, so why?
But they kindly took it upon themselves to remind us that no, they definitely will not have sex with a trans girl. Thank you so much for clarifying. And it kind of felt like you couldn't ask, oh, why not, without being accused of lesbian erasure, which to me doesn't really sound like it makes much sense, because why would asking a lesbian why she doesn't want to have sex with a certain kind of woman be lesbian erasure, unless you don't think trans women are women?
Because, technically, trans women aren't women because they were men at some point. They just got a sex change. Things still aren't somewhat correct. In my last video I was talking about the hormonal pills. You have to take estrogen. If they run out of estrogen, they can act a little weird, And another thing is you have to remember, and I'm not saying it's right, but some people aren't as progressive as other people, and it could still freak them out to think that a woman they're with was once a man, even though they may have women gender roles. It still could be freaky for some people.
The discussion then kindly led into why they wouldn't have sex with a black girl either, which, I was kind of just staring at my phone at that point like, oh, just why I gotta say those things.
I agree with this too. Some people, they just have personal preferences by race, and it's usually because something happened to them where the race that they don't want to, shake up with, as you would say, did something to them, they had bad experience. But, I've never kind of liked this. I think you should give anyone a chance, because you may end up liking the person.
Many of these reasons simmer down to preferences. And I want to say right now, you can 100% have preferences, but I find that the preferences argument in a lot of these situations tends to be a really weak as shit excuse for being, oh god, how do I say this, super transphobic.
Take into consideration, what if a trans person does not want to have sex with someone who's not trans, who's just a normal male? Let's say that. Let's say a trans male didn't want to have intercourse with someone who is a real male. Are they being cisphobic? Probably not, according to, SJW liberals, because you have to bend over backwards for the minority. Well, here's the problem with that. It can go both ways, and she doesn't harp on that. She's not the great equalizer that you would like to think she would like you to think she is, because she doesn't touch on it at all. She doesn't say, if trans people don't want to do that, then that's kind of wrong too. She just says, cis people or, lesbians don't want to have sex with trans women. It's just kind of wrong. And also, considering she just said you can have whatever preference you want, calling people's preferences a shield of bullshit, pretty much. It's very contradictory.
Preferences are things that you prefer. If my preference was big boobs, it doesn't mean that I would completely cancel out dating someone with small boobs. If my preference was someone with freckles or a big nose or small eyes, it doesn't mean I would cancel out somebody because they don't have those things. People prefer redheads but date brunettes, or prefer to date someone who's a CEO or comedian or magician but will date people who aren't those things.
Color is very different from genitals. You have to remember that some people want to date traditional, I guess you could say, male and female. And I say traditional because it's been happening for a while. That's what the tradition is. Um, I'm not trying to, demonize or dehumanize people. That's not what I'm doing. I'm just saying traditionally, a male will have a penis and a woman will have a vagina. If you want to date a traditional male and that is your preference, you want a man with a dick and not a vagina, or you want to date a woman with a vagina and not a dick, it's not wrong. It's like you said, you can have a preference, but I just don't understand. It's way different from hair color or whatever the hell you ever said.
But when it comes to trans people, there's often a very hard line. And this line isn't normally drawn just at genitalia or gender expression, it's drawn at trans people. So a gay man might say that he's gay and he loves dick and his sexuality is defined by the fact that he loves penis. Fantastic. Because sexuality is all about sex, a lot of them shout. But if you ask if they would, by their own logic, date a trans woman because she has a penis and that's what their sexuality boils down to, the answer is often still no.
That's because he's gay and he wants his preference, which you said we're allowed to have, is he wants to date a man with a penis, not a woman with a penis. If you want to date a woman with a penis, I guess he'd be like non-binary or bi or something. But since he's gay, his sexual preference is dating a man with a penis, not a woman.
So, what you're really saying is that you would never date a trans person. And let's imagine if you said that you would never date a black person, or a disabled person, or a bisexual person. I'm not saying that you can't have preferences. You can prefer to date someone who looks or acts or is a certain way.
You're contradicting yourself so much. You say that we can have a preference, but you say if your preference is you don't want to date a trans woman, I think it would be. Well, let me give an example. Let's say there was a woman that like you, and I think it would be I think a transgender woman that would like you, right? If you were a man and you changed to a woman, and if you choose the born as a woman person, you would be transphobic. Now I see where you could think that, but that is a preference, whether you like it or not. The person is saying they would prefer someone who was born a woman over someone who was born a man. And the reasons could be anything from that's how they were brought up, if they had, a more conservative family. You could also say, that could just be their mentality. You could say that they don't want to date someone that if they stop taking their estrogen pills, they may start acting more manly. You have to take into consideration other people's opinions, which you're doing a great thing by coming out, putting yourself on the internet for scrutiny, like people like me. And I'm not trying to offend anyone. I don't want to make anyone upset. It's not the point of the channel. I just want to voice my opinion and have a debate, It's just a calm, nice thing. I want to be nice about it. You can change people's opinions to an extent. But if your argument is contradicting itself and doesn't have hard backing to it, it's not really a good argument, is it? And that's where you can debate and attempt to change someone's outlook on things. But I do appreciate your bravery. It was a great thing that you did, posting on the internet, giving your opinion. But debating about it is the best part. So I hope everyone who watched the video enjoy. I hope you leave a like, it helps, a comment, and that person, I think her username was Sarina H. Thank you for leaving comments and subscribing. I assume that was you. And unfortunately I can't friend you on Instagram. I don't have one. I don't really need one, and it's also I kind of Instagram isn't really my thing. But thank you so much. So everyone else, if you like the video, please like, it helps, show your friends, that would help too. Thank you so much. It's just been crazy that my first video already has like 27 views. I would have never imagined. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. I hope you liked it.